You are listening to Grammy's Rocket Chair on RLM Radio.
The girl of your dreams has got to be in some bar.
Sorry, boys and girls, but this is X-rated. So if you're under 18...
Get out, goddammit! Get the point? Good.
And now?
Bend over.
Y'all ready for this?
Get it up. Get it up. I can't wait anymore.
I like to watch.
Whatever you design, I know you like it. Do it.
We do it all night long.
And now, your host, Grammy.
Hi there, ho there, everybody. And guess what? It is a Freaker Friday evening. And this is your hostess with the mostest something or other. I'm not sure what. Grammy. Here on RealLibertyMedia.com, Channel 3. And I had to adjust my volume just a skosh. I got my new headphones, and I apparently don't have something set right because I did not hear the music through my headphones. But it looks like the microphone is working just fine. So I'm just going to wing it. I'm going to go with it. What the hell? Oi, 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 oi. Yeah, I'm going to do my Carol Burnett, too. There you go. Okay, let me go see what all's going on. Is Freedom's Network having a few issues there, Grimmy? Because I tried to refresh it, and it would not come up for me. So I didn't know. Oh, nope, never mind. There it comes. I see it. But, you know what? Over in the corner pocket, whose voice is it? That's something that Phantom put together on there for me, Chloe. Let's see. Over here in the corner pocket, I see Kozu's over here. I also see Banger and Dimma and I'm a Lion and Grimner. I know. I'm thinking I like the old mic better as well, Grimmy. I think I'm going to send this headphone back and just get another one just like the old one. Because this one is, yeah. Here's Grammy. That's right, PB. Yeah, this one is, I don't know. It had the mute and it had all kind of other fancy schmancy shit on it. But it's just not, yeah. It's just not the same. Not the same. So I guess I'm just going to have to, yeah. Send it back. No big deal. And I'll get me a new one. Just like my other one. That was actually a gaming headphone thingy. So, yeah. Grammy's in the dungeon? Oh. Yeah, I know. It's kind of... Yeah. I'm not real keen on this. Not real keen on the way it fits either. So, but I thought I would give it a try for a show. In any case, let's see. Who else was I talking to? Oh, yeah. So, I said, hey to everybody over in the corner pocket. Over on Facebook, I don't know that there's much of anybody going on over there or anything going on over there. It's been very quiet for a couple of weeks, actually, over on Facebook. I don't know what the hell's going on, but yeah. Kind of wild that it has been so quiet over there. Over on this effing site, thank you, Grimmy, for sharing me over on this effing site. I truly do appreciate it. I also see Bob Renner is over here, and looky there, Estrella has been sharing like crazy, and T.D. Sanders and the lovely Mary B. from Down Under have all been over here, popping in, saying hey, sharing stuff. And where you need to be, oh wait, I need to say hey to everybody in Twitterville too. Thank you, Barman and Grimmy, for tweeting me over there on Twitter. Truly do appreciate that. And I actually did tweet a few things myself. So, what is this? The Onion? Oh, a courtroom sketch artist. Cool. Okay. And if you wish to give me static, Sammy Sosa dabs in London with white. Oh. And yeah, I'm not away from the mic, hun. It's just, it's a weird, I don't know. Maybe I just don't have anything set right. That could be. That could very well be. Oh, not everyone can read this. You want to see me read it, Grim? Well, you not see me, but hear me. Okay, I'll tell you what. Let's do say hey. I see Barman over here in the RLM. Hey, Barman, thank you for tweeting me. I also see Grimner is here, who is the RLM god, don't you know? And the lovely Moose Girl, and they will be on later on this evening for the Freakers Ball. Booyah, booyah. So this ought to be a good time had by all. And I see the lovely Kate. And by the way, I will not be up for the Freakers Ball because I got to get up entirely too early so I can get to where I need to be to babysit in the morning, don't you know? Okay, let's see. The lovely Kate is here. Hey, Kate, how are you doing? I also see Asmodeus Asmo, and I saw Asmo in the chat. I don't remember if it was earlier today or earlier yesterday. It's, my week is a blur. Just a blur. I also see the lovely Beth Z. And Beth, thank you for that video link earlier today. Very interesting. Lots of mathy stuff. And I actually understood about half of that mathy stuff. Math as in M-A-T-H. I also see BTC Bob is here. Hey, Bob. Bob, 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 Bob. Chelsea Denis is also in the house, as well as a double dip and a Chloe. I am here with a new set of headphones that I'm not real keen about. I also see IB Don C is here, as well as Java Dr. Jew. And looky there, JJ's is in the house. Hey, JJ's. And Juana Taco. Yes, once again, tonight is going to be leftover night. Maybe tomorrow night I can have tacos. I don't know. Haven't decided yet. I also see Meisterbrower is here. As well as P. Bunyan Timber. That's a Tim that's been standing outside entirely too long out in this neck of the woods. Or Moosey's neck of the woods, because it's really cold where Moosey is. I also see the lovely Rain is in the chat, as well as RLM Fluke, the Vanna White of the RLM channel. Okay, if you got to babysit early, it's best if you don't get enough sleep so you can... so I can be naturally grumpy. Should I maybe wear my fuzzy pink house coat and I can do my Maxine impersonation, Grimmy? I do that pretty good, although my hair's a little bit too long, but hey, I can still pull it off. Okay. I also see Rob Works is here. Thank you for firing up that bubbler, Rob. Truly do appreciate it. I know, Moose, I don't know what the hell's going on with... And I went through and I made sure, and I'm not impressed with this headphone. I am not impressed. I'm going to have to tell Amazon, no, don't like it. Sorry, ain't keeping it. But, had to do one show. Well, I didn't have to, but it's like, I went to all the trouble of pulling it out of the box and everything. And hooking it up to my computer and letting it load its sound card and yada. It's a USB one, as opposed to the one with the 2 jacks. So, yeah, I'm not impressed. Not impressed. So, I'll get another one like the one that I had, and not let my kitty cat sit on my lap and chew on the cord with this one. Yeah, right. Because that's what happened to the last one. She chewed on the cord and pulled some things loose, and oh well. Where am I at? Tip Bob. Hey, Tip Bob, how you doing? I also see Trust No One is in the house, as well as Phantom is logged in. Thank you, Phantom, for the intro. Truly do appreciate that. And looky there, Dakota is in the house. Not Dakota, just Dakota. Just the regular one. Just a low mic. Do I need to... Oh, a low quality mic. That's what that is. Ah, well, it sure wasn't cheap. I mean, it wasn't really, really high dollar, but, you know, I thought I would spend a little bit more than I did on the last one. And yeah, obviously, paying more for something doesn't necessarily mean you get better. So, back to saying, hey, where am I at? Where am I at? Dimma! Hi, Dimma! I also see Frumpy is in the chat, as well as Jehovah One. Keep it as a back. I don't know. I might, because, yeah, it wasn't that expensive. But, yeah. Cellar sound must be the deep. Well, let me see. No. Let me. I'll play. Should I play with buttons? I don't think I should play with buttons. Y'all know how I get when I push buttons. It's not good. Okay, let's see. Frumpy, I said, hey, Jehovah One is here. Ooh, I wonder if I could do the... Did that sound really creepazoid? Did I say hey to Trust No One? I don't remember if I said hey to him. Hi, trusty feller, or untrusty feller, however you are. Kozu is in the house. Hey, Kozu, as well as Moi, and Nensun Dubois is also here. And looky there, Poxified and Pon Sauce and Slim Jim Flim to round out the crew. So hey there, hi there, ho there, y'all. Yes, it is an echo chamber this evening. Oh, wait. Hey, I have been accused of talking to the echo chamber. Now I sound like it. There you go. I'm not real sure I like where the mic placement thing is either, because then when I take a drink, it clicky-clacky-clicky-clackies. Just not real impressed with this. It's supposed to work really well with your phone, too. And it's like, In any case, let me read this, what Grammy, because not everyone can read this. You know, like if you're illiterate, you can't read it. If you can read this, you have a strange mind, too. Okay, that's as much as I'm going to read of that. Because, yeah, it's amazing, huh? Yeah. Uh-huh. Whatever. I've read so many of those stupid things. Okay. So, back over here to Twitter. See if there's anything that I just plain can't live without seeing. And I don't think there is. Oop, top story. Saudi Arabia moving Lebanon's prime minister may start a war. Ah! May, you know, they always use those amorphous words. May, might, almost, kinda, sorta, could, possibly, should, if. You know, those kind of words. Those ones that don't necessarily, you know, they're not right in your face. Like the alleged thing. That's another one of those. Might, maybe, possibly, almost, kind of, sort of. Instead of calling someone what they are, like a shithead. Instead of, you know, saying, a lot of people go, they're an alleged shithead. No, they're not an alleged shithead. They are a shithead. Just pretty simple. But, in any case, hello, Miss Pam. I see you over here on Fakey Book. How are you doing, sweetie? Oh, yeah, I shared that recipe of my, pickles and egg rolls. It sounds yucky till you watch them cook it. And then it's like, ooh, that looks yummy. Oh, ooh. Oh, God. I saw a picture that made me go, ooh, oh, ah. It was, well, I've seen another one, too, where it's George Soros and his face put on Hillary. And, you know, I had to look twice because it's like, damn, Hillary. Wow, sweetheart, put some makeup on. But, yeah. Because it did look like her, only uglier, if that's possible. But, let's see. Okay. Oh, has changed the world, or have I changed the world? Oh, George Orwell did. Okay, I'm going to shut off Twitter because, yeah, it's just not thrilling me. But I am going to go to this. I kind of went over a little bit on Wednesday with the radio. And I went over. I got really involved in what I was reading. And really surprised me. Because normally it's like, wow, I have to dig around and really... It's hard for me to find something that I really get excited about. But I found a couple of things this evening that just might be... I may be just as bad as I was Wednesday night. You never know. Depends on how long it takes me to read them. But, so, this is from worldtruth.tv. If you bury an egg and a banana side by side in the garden, you'll get some astonishing results. Okay. What is that, Grimmy? Oh, okay. Oh, way cool. Okay. Wow, that's a lot of money. Wow. No. No. I'm not feeling near that brave or that frisky or that, yeah, no. That's a lot of money. Thanks, so Grim. No, the one, I did get mine off of Amazon, but, oh, hey, I see a couple other Logitech ones that are not quite so expensive. I don't know. Because I got the M-POW one that supposed to, I mean, it had a lot of really good, with microphone noise canceling and yada, 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 yada. I don't think, oh, maybe that is the one that I got. Just a minute. Yeah. Because this sure as hell looks like the one I got. I think it is. I'm a tight ass. I think this is the one that I got, Grim. And just so y'all know, don't go there. Because this one doesn't work really good for the radio. Okay? And one of the main reasons I got it is, number one, it had a mute button. And number two, it worked on Windows 7. So, you know, those were my two criteria. And then, well, the price break was the other one. So, in any case, yeah, tightwad. But, you know, the other one that I had that worked really, really well was actually cheaper than that one. It was it's a Tech Emotion. Yeah, Tech Emotion is the one that I normally use. So, in any case, getting back to this article. Becoming a good gardener is a challenging prospect, requiring dedication and skill. It should also be borne in mind that different plants need varying levels of attention and conditions for a successful growth. For a novice, being able to draw on more experienced knowledge is invaluable. Happily, one gardening blog is promoting an intriguing new method for gardeners, old and new, that might just be a total game changer. Have you heard the one about the egg and the banana? Have you heard about it? No, it's not a have you heard the one about the priest, the rabbi, and the... It's not that one. So with food prices rising, and in most developed countries, people making the most of their backyards by getting into gardening and producing their own fruit and vegetables is even more popular. By the way, I just saw something earlier today that the appellate court in Florida upheld a ruling that no, you cannot have a garden in your front yard in Florida, or at least one part. I didn't follow the link. I just saw the headline, so I could just be blowing smoke up your ass too. But that was the headline. And I had a garden in my front yard for several years when I lived in town, and nobody complained. Actually, the neighbors really liked it because I told them, just so long as you tell me you're coming to get something, I don't care. Don't clean me out. You know, if you want to pick a couple of things, fine, but don't clean me out. So, in any case, back to this. As a matter of fact, according to a broader NBC broadcaster NBC, sales of seeds, rooted plants, and fruit trees in the United States are all shooting up fast. Evidently, having the shortest possible produce journey from the field to the fork is all the rage. Well, and you actually know what you're consuming. That tends to help. And you know what kind of nastiness you've been putting on it. So speaking to NBC News, Jeanette Bedell of Venice, Florida, spoke of her newfound fondness of growing her own. She said, over the past year or two, when my boyfriend and I went shopping and started seeing how little we got out of the grocery store for how much, we figured we might as well give it a shot, try our own veggies, and take some of the weight off of our pockets. And Bedell is by no means alone in bedding vegetables. In a report by the National Garden Association in 2014, which is a Texas-based body, found more than 42 million U.S. households had come to the same conclusion. That's a chunk of households. That's a chunk. Some are growing their vegetables at home. Others are sharing community gardens. But it still adds up to a grow-your-own enthusiast in more than 1/3 of all American domiciles. And the association has seen a sharp spike in the number of green-fingered wannabes since the worldwide economic crash of 2008. Which, yeah, because it's that hidden tax, inflation, that is getting people to where they want to grow their own so they don't have to pay so much at the grocer. Mike Metallo, who is the president and chief executive of the National Gardening Association, said it clearly shows that there truly is a food revolution taking place in America. And we're seeing more people, particularly young people, actively engaged in growing their own food. Unfortunately, for much of the masses, gardening is not as simple and straightforward as planting seeds in the ground and then just waiting. Although enthusiasm and fertilizer can help, not all types of land can produce the same kind of vegetables, which is true. You do have to get your soil ready. In fact, each vegetable plant derives differing kinds and quantities of nutrients from the soil that they grow in. With this in mind, New Jersey gardener Gary Pilarchik came up with a quirky but ingenious technique for growing tomatoes. Now a resident in Maryland, he has propagated a healthy presence online, as well as various social media profiles. He writes the Rusted Vegetable Garden blog and has his own YouTube channel, which YouTube kiss my ass. What's his name? The Common Sense Guy. TK, I can't think of his name now. Apparently YouTube has taken all of his videos off. What the hell? I think YouTube needs to be drop-kicked. Okay, back to this article. In May of 2013, Pilarchik posted a video using a couple of unusual ingredients in his recipe for growing tomatoes. In the clip, he buried a whole banana and an egg underneath a tomato plant. Subsequently, viewers of his weekly updates were astonished at the results. The idea is that the banana and the egg begin to rot and degrade in the soil underneath the tomato plant's rootstock. Then the roots reach into the decaying material and are able to convey the rich nutrients from it to the rest of the plant. The nutrient-rich mix from the decomposed banana and egg includes potassium, phosphate, calcium, magnesium, sulfur, and sodium. Gives a tomato plant a huge boost and enables it to grow strong and tall. Pilarchik took his inspiration from Native American tradition for his banana and egg trick. In the same fashion, Native Americans will add foreign material when sowing their seeds. And believe it or not, the First Nation people would plant fish heads or even a whole fish into the ground at the base of their crop. This would fertilize the soil in the same way the soft fruit and ovum did for Pilarchik. Additionally, Native Americans would also use another green-fingered gimmick when growing their crops that they called the Three Sisters. In essence, this would mean planting 3 different varieties together: corn, squash, and beans. As a result, each vegetable crop would offer symbiotic benefits to the other 2, ensuring that all 3 survived. The beans would provide nitrogen to the soil, enriching the corn and squash so that they could grow robustly. The corn provided a trellis on which the beans could climb. The squash provided cover for the other two plants as they were growing, and it helped to deter some pests, which is actually pretty cool. They are pretty sharp little individuals there. It's not just the old ways that can make a difference. New trends are making an impact as a result of the influx of new gardeners. And one of these is called attentive gardening, an offshoot of the vogue of mindfulness meditation. Attentive gardening is a way of drawing the grower's mind away from stress and focusing on the task at hand, in and around the backyard or plot. Which, okay, apparently I have been doing attentive gardening for quite some time, because when I go out and garden and I pull weeds, I most definitely alleviate stress, because, you know, a lot of those weeds get names, like whoever pissed me off that day. I name those weeds that, and I'm plucking them out of the ground and kicking their asses. That's just the way I roll. Mindful gardening. You know, one other thing from the Ringing Cedars books, she suggests that when you take a bath or something, take your bath water and you go out and you water your plants with that. Or in the morning when you go out to garden or water your garden first thing in the morning, run the garden hose over your legs and over your feet so that your plants will get to know you better. And because the dead skin cells and all that other fun stuff that washes off of your body goes into the soil, and the plants recognize it, and then they will grow more healthy for you. So, which is, I kind of sort of started doing that this last summer, but then things got crazy, and yeah. But I think maybe next year I'm going to, at least when I start my bedding plants, I will do that. I will water them when I have a soak with Epsom salt water. Because Epsom salt is very good for your plants as well. So, go ahead and get this shared. I am not liking these headphones. Not at all. But I'm going to tough it out. I'm going to make it through it. Damn it. Damn it. Okay. Let's see. Over here on this effing side, I got to see what I want to use. What little guy I want to use. I think I'll do this one. And this one. Oh, and I'll do that one too, because, yeah, you can use poo as a fertilizer too. Oh, well. So, does smoking pot make you more creative? I don't know, but you know what, Chloe? In my pocket, I do have several articles that I stuck in there about how people that smoke pot have more sex. And I thought, oh, really? Is that how that works? Okay. And I might read those, and then again, I might not. You never know. Let me see. Where did I put them? Or I'm pretty sure I stuck them in here. Yeah. How much sex should you be having? And there it is. Marijuana users have more sex. Did you know that? I didn't. Maybe I ought to use it more often. Oh, let's see. Where? Okay, I'm going to go to the other one. I haven't been to Damian James for quite a while. And I like Damian James. He's a fun little blogger, and the way he writes is just so... I enjoy the way he writes. And so I went to the official Damian James blog page. And what to my wondering eyes did I see but fake news, the deliberate lie that is unraveling the world, and that's more pervasive than you think. Really? In the author's note, the term fake news has become a famous/infamous buzzword in the past 2 years, as it's been used by everyone from the Trumpelstiltskin to the corporate lame-ass propaganda system. And it's still, and the mainstream media still have their panties in a twist about the results of the 2016 selection. Sorry, guys, you weren't read into the final part of the script. I know, it sucks. So, what do they mean when they call a source or a story fake news? Is it consistently applied? And how does one not fall victim to fake news stories? This article will cover fake news, or what is fake news, and unlike the half-baked bullshit articles put out by the corporate lame-ass propaganda system on how to spot fake news, which are laughably absurd, by the way, I'm going to cut through their crap and deliver a better set of guidelines in helping readers identify what's fact and feces as far as news is concerned. So here we go, Johnny. So what is fake news? Well, that's going to depend on who you ask. On one of the corporate lame-ass propaganda, or aka mainstream media sites that try to help people identify fake news, they list mostly nonsensical giveaways like domain name and the About section, which is just completely phony. None of the major media news organizations give a detailed rundown of their entire staff and where they donate politically. They only list the past reporting credentials of their editors that sound professional, but fail to disclose the most relevant aspect of their news view, the degree of their partisan alignment. Hell, even worse is that they only list the editors of their online stories and fail to explain that network executives are the ones who drive the direction of editorial staff, who then drive the direction and phrasing of news stories delivered by reporters, not journalists, reporters. WikiLeaks revealed that direct collusion between respected news sources and political candidates was a major issue in the 2016 presidential campaign, with CNN especially, and Hillary Clinton. Probably the most honest of online sources on fake news call articles that are hyper-partisan in tone and designed to make you angry. Those are fake news. Which means that nearly every news organization out there that's trying to take a dump in Trump's morning coffee with the constant hyperbolic denunciations of what he's doing in office isn't significantly different from the actions of previous presidents is fake news. What's that, Frumpy? I don't think you're supposed to break it, Frumpy. I think you're supposed to put the egg in there whole because, it will decompose on its own and it will break down on its own. I don't think you have to break it because you want that eggshell in there as well because that eggshell adds calcium. And my garden got overripe bananas and banana peels put in with the tomato plants this year, and they really, really, really liked it. But that was put on top. That wasn't put underneath the plants. That was, just throughout the summer. Banana peels got stuck in there and overripe bananas. So, in any case, back to this article. So, by definition, MSNBC, CNN, NBC, ABC, CBS, and let's not forget Fox are all fake news. By definition. because, they're hyper-partisan in tone and designed to make you angry. So, if that is indeed the case, then old Trumpelstiltskin has been correct in calling them out for any number of stories that they've run in the past 2 years. And his full disclosure, I don't much care for the guy. I think he's an arrogant, petulant, boisterous, self-worshipping boob who somehow bumbled, stumbled, and fell into the POTUS position. His only redeeming quality is that he seems to correctly call things as they are, far more frequently than can be attributed to random chance, which, okay, Damian James, this is why I like you. Because a lot of times I really agree with you. And yeah, you're what you considered Trumpelstiltskin to be, an arrogant, petulant, boisterous, self-worshipping boob who somehow bumbled, stumbled, and fell into the POTUS position, pretty much covers my opinion as well, other than you didn't put Oompa Loompa in there. Because, man, when he's got the fake tan going on, he's definitely an Oompa Loompa. At least from the old Willy Wonka days. So, while I do agree with the general premise of the USA Today criteria on fake news, I feel that it doesn't quite tell the whole story on fake news, which is, ironically, probably the best definition of fake news. That it doesn't tell the full story or the truth about an event, and that it attempts to selectively generate public outrage for some public figures that engage in certain behaviors while sweeping the same situations under the rug for others. That's called being partisan, for those of you that don't know that. So, how does one spot fake news? In a world that has mainstream news organizations attempting to whip you into a frenzy and manipulate you at every turn of the page and click of the channel. Well, I've come up with some guidelines as far as that's concerned. Oh, I can't wait. Damien, I can't wait. Guideline number 1. Believe nothing that you read and maybe only half of what you see. Okay, I can't disagree with that. This one is pretty straightforward. People lie. Yep. They lie to themselves. They lie to their loved ones. They lie to strangers. They lie whenever it suits them. It's what people do. People also love drama. They can say that they don't, but they're probably lying. So see above. Most people are gossiping high schoolers of any age, and they want to hear the juiciest rumor about people or positions that they don't like. Doesn't matter if it's true or not. And if it's not true, all the more reason to just make something up. News organizations know that you want to hear certain stories that reinforce your skewed view of the world. That's why they only report certain stories or angles on NBC, MSNBC, CBS, etc., 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 ad nauseum. And why they only report certain stories or angles on Fox News, faux news. Media organizations are more in the business of manipulating people than actually reporting on events of the day. It makes them buttloads of money, and they know that you'll segregate yourselves out to the correct network to indoctrinate yourselves based on your preconceived notions on the world. In that and in many other ways, media organizations suck, but it's what they do. Know that your media source of choice is not telling you the full story or the full truth when they report on a topic, because they gain more by twitching your puppet strings and manipulating you than letting you know what's really going on in the world, and you might be good if you know these things. They'll probably not, because you're probably still screwed, but, at least knowing about it, you're forewarned. Guideline number 2. Excuse me. If a story seems shocking or unbelievable, it probably is. Adolf Hitler once said, "The masses will more easily believe a great lie than a little one." I think we all know how that turned out. History repeats itself because masses never get smarter or better informed. Don't be the masses, because sometimes the M is silent. Oh, I love you, Dayton. I really do love you, hun. If you hear a story that seems redunculous and ridiculous, shocking or unbelievable, don't be a lazy twit and just accept it. Do some research on the matter and look at multiple sources. Remember above where I mentioned that media machines are in the business of feeding you bullshit because they know you want to swallow it? Same thing applies here. Stop biting on the juicy stories and swallowing the crap that they're feeding you until you've exhausted all the sources you can find. Oh, thank you, Frumpy. Yeah, a large latte would be nice, but wow. It's just so dreary out here. It's hard for... I damn near fell asleep at about 2:30 this afternoon. It didn't help that I was listening to a training video. Those things are like... Okay. Much better. Got a sip of water. I'm drinking water, actually, because I think I'm coffeeed out. Guideline number 3. When you're trying to research how truthful a story is, look for repetitious phrases in the sources to identify those who copy others' story and establish which media organizations are working together. People in media are just as lazy as the people who aren't in media. If they can get away with simply copying someone else's news report and simply rewriting a few sections, they'll do it. What's most important to note in these situations are the words that are copied and pasted from one report to the next. Media narratives and propaganda only work by repeating the same stance or story over and over and over and over. Media psychologists have shown that if you can repeat a story or a lie often enough to people, they will eventually believe and accept it, regardless of how true the story is. They also know that if the lie or story deviates too much with each new telling, people have a harder time keeping track of it and start questioning the story, which is the echo chamber thing that was going on and is going on. So, this is why I say that you should look for the same phrasing showing up in different sources or news reports, or spewage reports as I like to call them. These are typically political agendas that media organizations are trying to force you to accept as being true. They aren't that concerned with the generalities of the news stories that they feed you so much as they're with you internalizing and accepting their talking points as true. But it's true. I saw it on the internet. It must be true. Guideline number 4. Skip the Snopes and PolitiFacts websites out there. Yeah, because they are bullshit. Bullshit. But Snopes said, dude, that's like Simon Says. You're just playing a game. Stop it. With the rise of fake news has come the rise of fact-checking websites. And to be fair, they used to be about checking the veracity of the claims of public figures. But as with all endeavors that initially have good intentions, they gained the trust of the masses and then turned into worthless piles of garbage run by political hacks who aren't interested in the truth. The majority of the fact-checker sites I've perused lately don't list any facts or cite any sources for their fact-checking. Instead, they look to spin the particulars of the claims being made in such a way as to discredit them without really providing any hard evidence to the contrary, which pretty much ensures that they're going to ascertain the truth of a claim. Ascertain? Really? So you want proof? Check out this article and this Snopes fact-checked version of the same article. Notice the linguistic interpretive gymnastics that are at work to debunk the claim? Snopes and other fact-checking sites don't bother citing any source for their debunkery. It's almost like they're entirely fabricated. What is that, Frumpy? Yes, training videos are a good time for a blanket fort. They most definitely are. Oh. Yes, Frumpy, that is true. Simple things are very effective. And if they can drone it into your mind, oh my God. You know, it's like a hypnotic drone. I wonder if maybe that's why some of those trainers are so monotonous. Because you just get to the point where you start going, and when you get in that little Twilight Zone kind of place, you know, just that zone between awake and asleep, that's when that shit sticks. It's almost like those songs that you just can't stand, but you know all the words to them. That's when shit sticks in your head. I wonder if that's part of this whole, Oh well. These fact-checking sites have become more about helping to push a political narrative for their party than cutting through the collective crap and telling it like it is. And the feelings of their friends and political bros be damned. Yeah, the truth doesn't have an agenda. And it is just as cutting to one group as it is to another. Because the truth takes no sides. Takes no prisoners either. And yes, I know that this makes it harder to verify what's true in news by ditching these phony fact-checker sites. It sucks more than a shop vac on high that there aren't sites out there that are truly dedicated to helping people make sense of what's really going on in the world, that are truly nonpartisan. But that kind of crap gets expensive, and I don't have the time, money, or a trustworthy research staff available to set something like that up. Oh, yes, Frumpy, that is true. Yeah, next thing you know, just fell right out. Guideline number 5. Don't start off mentally rigid on what you think you know about a topic or story before all the information is in. That's that whole preconceived notion thing. What's actually true is largely a matter of likelihoods or probabilities. Initial reports have a low probability of getting the story completely right because not all the information has been gathered. Getting set in a mental rut of this breaking news is 100% true and nothing anyone could say could possibly change how this story may play out is more than likely going to make you look like a stupid ass when all the information comes in. I hearken back to Vegas as a recent example of that breaking news. This guideline might be the hardest to explain and the hardest to adopt, so I think an example would be easiest. Remember the Trayvon Martin case? How it initially blew up in the media? The story started off with poor little innocent black youth Trayvon Martin getting viciously gunned down in cold blood in an unprovoked attack by some white guy named George Zimmerman. Most of the dumbass public, as opposed to the regular public, lost it when the initial story came out because, well, damn, a name like George Zimmerman sounds like a white guy name. And actually, it sounds like a German name from out in my neck of the woods. And everyone knows that all white people are inherently racist, and other races can't possibly be racist because that's just a white thing. So it was definitely another case of systemic racism and white on black crime. Yeah. And you know, now that I think about that, saying that only whites can be racist, isn't that a racist remark? Add in how the media creatively edited Zimmerman's 911 call to make Zimmerman look super racist, with tolerance and understanding as his kryptonite. And how the media refused to show the photographs of Zimmerman taken immediately after the attack in order to really push the whole innocent black teen angle. And you get a perfect storm of ignorance. Then you get the social justice wormers and the black supremacist groups started organizing, and chomping at the bit for justice, or for just us. So what do they really mean by that? So to show solidarity with the poor, oppressed Trayvon, these groups bit on the initial story and refused to wait for all the information. Idiots. But then some previously missing information was made available to the public. First, the neighborhood where the whole altercation went down had several armed break-ins and burglaries in the weeks leading up to the shooting. Then it became known that the altercation took place at close to 3 a.m. while Zimmerman was performing a neighborhood watch sweep. Then it became known that Trayvon was behaving erratically and attacked Zimmerman first, and that Zimmerman shot Martin last. Then the audio and transcript for the full 911 call came out. Then it was revealed that Zimmerman was Hispanic and not white, although Hispanic is still, I think, classified as white according to some governmental agencies because they're trying to do that whole social blending and cultural, and they're bullshitting is what they're doing. But once a broader picture of the event had been painted, it suddenly wasn't a racially motivated hate crime for an older Hispanic homeowner to address a younger black male who was wandering around and acting strange in a neighborhood that had been recently beset by crime at 3 a.m, and who then proceeded to physically attack said Hispanic man before getting shot. The same shit happened with Michael Brown in Ferguson. Dumbasses went all in on the initial reports of white authority killing a young, innocent, non-threatening black male. Immediately leapt into outrage and started rioting and looting. Peacefully protesting. Then, once more, information came in about the attacks that corroborated the officer's story. These groups turned into spineless little chickens. Or actually, spineless little chicken shits, who started worming their way out of accepting that they were wrong in the first place with all manner of excuses. Oh, it's just a conspiracy, man, by the cops, or by the white people, or the mayor, or the systemic racism, or. Yeah, you got lots of ors to get you up shit's creek, honey. Lots of ors. Oh, it's spelled different. Never mind. Or it's just a conspiracy, because all you got to do is throw conspiracy in front of theory, and you got a lot of people jumping in on that one. So is it really a conspiracy if everyone knows about it? I don't think so. Unless somebody wants to make it demeaning or less than, then they throw conspiracy out there to make those that are purporting. Yeah, and the media that has an angle to run, that knows that they can manipulate you because you always respond with the same dumbass, knee-jerk, reactionary nonsense to these kinds of stories. Maybe you could try getting all the facts before taking any action that would make yourselves look stupid on national television. Or you could just keep doubling down with increasingly convoluted conspiracy theories as to why you're always on the wrong side of a story. I don't care. It's not my reputation, people, or cause that's being destroyed. And that's the Jesse Jacksons, the Al Sharptons, the professors that, dare I say, those that didn't stay in the easy bake oven of life as long as others, paler-skinned persuasion individuals who also happen to be professors in the ivory towers of educraption, who espouse such things as white people shouldn't be breeding and, nonsense like that. Yeah. Really, sweetie, have you looked in a mirror? Talk about self-hate, self-loathing. Wow. Guideline number 6. The more complex and convoluted a news story has become in order to arrive at a final destination, the less likely it is to be true. An additional point of consideration, if the story uses the terms potentially, allegedly, probably, may have, or other terms that waffle on the strength of an event being true, especially if they're used multiple times in the same article, then it ain't news. It's known as conspiracy theorizing. It's known as propaganda, fake news, or, in common man's lingo, horse crap. Yeah. The best way to explain this guideline is, once again, with an example. And the most compelling example of this happened in late 2016 when Shrillery lost the selection through her own incompetence. Not 2 days after the selection, Shrillery claimed that the media helped to corroborate that she lost because of James Comey. James Comey, the same James Comey who refused to prosecute her, even though if it would have been anyone but her, she would not have seen the light of day for 10 years. But James Comey, it's all his fault. When that didn't stick, She and they made the claim that the Russians sabotaged her and aided Trumpelstiltskin because WikiLeaks got their hands on countless emails from her campaign and the Democratic National Committee that showed just how corrupt she and the DNC were leading up to the selection. Prior to the selection, and as the emails started being released, Shrillery and the DNC initially went into damage control, as the emails painted a very disgusting picture of what the DNC and Shrillery were doing behind the scenes in her campaign. How did the corporate lame-ass propaganda system report on the matter? That the emails may have been altered from the original text to give the wrong impression about her or them. Notice the waffling language? It's not an outright denial that the emails were original and unaltered, but it helps to give the impression that the emails may not have been legitimate. WikiLeaks and other security specialists confirmed that they were originals and unaltered. But that went largely unmentioned in the corporate lame-ass propaganda system, making the previous stories on emails maybe being altered fake news. Didn't stop the big media companies from reporting it as a possibility. Anything's possible. I know, strange. I thought they actually cared about integrity of the news. Yeah. Depends on what they define integrity as. Yeah. So after that, the story switched to how the Russians did it. You know, them damn communist pinko-faggy guys. And they influenced the selection away from Shrillery by releasing said emails. Except WikiLeaks, Russia, and a number of security experts stated that Russia was not the source. That the story was fake news because it wrongly attributed blame for Shrillery's loss towards something that was completely meaningless. Claiming something is the cause for an event when it most assuredly isn't is lying and inaccurate. Reporting lies or explanations for an event that are clearly incorrect is fake news. Didn't matter where the emails came from. What mattered was what was in them. The story became needlessly overcomplicated to explain why Shrillery lost. Russia didn't hack the voting booths to throw votes to Trumpelstiltskin, as numerous voting security experts clearly confirmed that it didn't occur. People simply voted against Shrillery because of the things that she had said and done in person and in print. Voters looked at her track record of scoring huge sums of money by selling influence in the U.S. federal government. They looked at the gross missteps that she made in Benghazi and in the email server fiasco. They looked at the fact that she had no solid plan or answers on how to address issues like the spread of the Islamic State, the fundamentalist Islam-inspired terrorist attacks around the world, illegal immigration, law enforcement, human and drug trafficking within the USA, the trade deficit, how to bring jobs back to America, or the tax code. Those are all those wonderful talking points, by the way. That was the why of why she lost. That was why Trumpelstiltskin got the nod. That should have been the story. But no, we have to keep hearing about How, since Trumples, as a businessman prior to running for POTUS, did business with an international clientele list, which may have included some Russian businessmen, he probably colluded with Russia to win the election. I mean, Putin, there are pictures of Putin wearing a Trumples tie. Therefore, Putin has ties with Trumple. The corporate lame-ass propaganda system made the story far more complicated than it needed to be to explain how an event occurred. Fake news! There is literally no logic or reason to that statement, and no evidence was actually presented to justify such allegations. Just shadowy sources within the government who wish to remain anonymous that made these claims. And the translation of that is an overly complicated explanation for why an event occurred that is only corroborated by shadow government sources that can't or won't provide solid evidence to substantiate the claims as reported by the MSM. Ding, 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 ding! Fake news, winner, winner, chicken dinner. Guideline number 7. If a political or public figure is involved in potentially morally ambiguous dealings, i.e. they're corrupt scumbags, which pretty much applies to all of them, look for disproportionate levels of outrage or emotional manipulation efforts to find the perpetrators of fake news. Dun, dun, dun. Yes, people are prone to failure of all sorts. It's what they do. Corruption is bound to show up in politics at some point. What's important to understand is that it happens across all political parties and affiliations. There are also a series of political understandings within D.C. that allow those who have been caught in such acts the ability to withdraw from consideration for political appointments and fade into retirement/obscurity. Yes, you got caught with your hand in the cookie jar. Yes, you abused the public's trust. Yes, you took money from the wrong people. Now go on your way and we won't put you in jail. But you're a liability to us, so we don't want to see you again. To be clear, I'm not a fan of this kind of behavior. In the Pledge of Allegiance that I said growing up, it said, with liberty and justice for all. Somehow, that is not this country anymore, if it ever was. Fake news always rides in on its white horse to rescue these people from obscurity by alleging that they're proof of some heinous conspiracy between this administration and whichever new arch enemy, there you go, whichever new arch enemy of the United States exists in the current political climate. Arch enemy of the United States is what I like to call the Boogeyman of the Month Club. Fake news will always come from the same media organizations that are willing to denounce such behavior now, but had no qualms about the same behavior when their team was running the show. Some outrage is probably warranted in these stories. Excessive amounts for comparatively smaller offenses is a clear indicator that partisan hacks are pushing an agenda. Case in point, Michael Flynn and Bill and Hillary Clinton. Michael Flynn is currently a hot topic in the spewage as he accepted money as payment for a speech that he gave back on December 10th, 2015 to Russia Today, a Russian government-owned English-language media outlet on which he made semi-regular appearances as an analyst after he retired from U.S. government service. Sounds bad, right? Well, all the media chatter says that he violated the emoluments, the what? He violated something's clause in the Constitution, which according to 37 U.S. Code 908 states that Congress consents to the following persons accepting civil appointment and compensation for that employment, for which the consent of Congress is required by the last paragraph of Section 9 of Article 1 of the Constitution related to acceptance of emoluments, offices, or titles from a foreign government. Yada, 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 blah, 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 gobbledygook, 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 legalese, bullshit. 1. Retired members of the uniformed service. 2. Members of a reserve component of the armed forces. 3. Members of the Commission Reserved Corps of the Public Health Service. B. Approval required. A person described in subsequent A may accept employment or compensation described in that subsection only if the Secretary concerned and the Secretary of State approved the employment. Ow. All that legalese mumbo-jumbo bullshit hurt, you know? But what about those who are civil servants and not ex-military? Equal treatment under the law means that the same measures that are aimed at retired servicemen and women should apply to those that have served in the civil service side of our government. In other words, what about those who may have served as, POTUS of USA, or Secretary of State, or Senator? Let's stick with the POTUS, as technically he is the Commandant-in-Chief of USA military structure. So, it'll make this whole argument simpler. Why is Bill Clinton, a Democratic president, allowed to collect $500,000 for a speech he delivered in Russia on behalf of a Russian state-owned corporation that was seeking to obtain controlling interest in a company for their mining rights for uranium, a strategic military asset in America and abroad, while his wife is Secretary of State? And is also on the record as giving hundreds of other speeches for millions of dollars, including some on issues that contradicted official USA policy in some regions. Again, while his wife is Secretary of State and can be seen as a good guy who did nothing wrong. Yet, a retired member of the uniformed forces, a lifelong Democrat who happens to work for a Republican POTUS, who gives a speech on the state of the world on behalf of the same country, gets paid significantly less for it, and he is suddenly a national security threat and a violator of the Emoluments Act, but Clinton is not. Emoluments. Whatever. How does that work out? It's called magic. Fuck you. There's the F-bomb. It's magic. You know, if you're a special demon crap, it's just different levels of demon crapacy is what it is. So I'll tell you now, because this is faker, bellyacre fake news, if you treat those who break the same law differently because of who they are or which team they play for, you're a fake news pusher. And that also, if you wish to extend that just a little bit further, if they aren't all treated the same or equally, you may as well throw out whatever rule or regulation you have, because if it's not applied equally, it is no longer valid and should not be applied. Period. End of discussion. If your outrage is at who did the law breaking or who they work for and not at the law breaking itself or the consequences of their questionable behavior, you're a fake news aficionado and a partisan hack who is part of the problem. The point is, I'm getting tired of the hypocritical, phony outrage and fake news stories coming from the corporate lame-ass propaganda fake news sources who are actively trying to manipulate and control the public. And I'm tired of hearing them bitch about how other fake news sites are corrupting the outcome of events. When people don't trust or don't just do what they want them to do. It all seems just a little too fake for me. I like my news like I like my women. Real, honest, direct, and insightful. And there better be some funnies that come with it too. Okay, that's the way I like my men. So Damien, I'm glad you like women like that. And there are some women out there like that. The media is run by people. People who lie. And that's not likely to change anytime soon. So if you want to stay accurately informed and avoid the strings that media and politicians are trying to tie to you to turn you into their puppet, you'll have to learn how to identify the tricks that they employ to get you to put their strings around your neck. Hopefully, the above guidelines will help you identify and avoid some fake spewage sites going forward. Best of luck. Thank you ever so much, Mr. Damian James. And it looks like he wrote that way back in May. Vinny! I see you over here. Let's see. Oh, Chloe, honey, Mr. Martin was not a sweet young man. Okay? I'm catching up on the chat over here. Oh, shit. I'm sorry to hear that, P. Bunyan. Damn it, that sucks. Okay. Ah, thank you, Grammy. Yeah, I don't know why it did that like that. Maybe because I just need to click on that. Hey, do you think that would do it? Oh, Grim, see, there you come, saving the day for me all the time. He's always so good at that. That's because I'm such a button pusher. And I have a tendency to bugger things every once in a while. Hey, Vinny! I'm glad you can hear me, although I'm not impressed with these headphones. They won't happen again. They're going bye-bye. And I don't know. Maybe they'll work better with the cell phone. I don't know. But, yeah. They're not working real good for this. So, yay, Damien. I like Damien tunes. Like you like. Okay. Now, let's see. I think I will put this over on Fakebook as well, just because. Sunny beaches in California. I hate when that happens. Okay. Dang! You know what? I got through the 2 articles I wanted to get through. Should I go to my pocket and talk about marijuana users and sex? Oh, I think I will, just because, just for fun. Because I know y'all partake of the herb. Yeah, Benny, it's these crappy ass headphones. Yeah, not gonna happen again. Oh well. This is from ResearchGate.net. Marijuana users have more sex. So you guys, you need to tell me in the chat room, is that true? Because this is a new study, and this was actually published the 27th of October of this year. Researchers at Stanford University have linked regular marijuana use to more frequent sex. The study, which analyzes data from 50,000 reproductive age Americans, is the first in the United States to examine the relationship between sex and marijuana use at population scale. The results came as a surprise to the researchers. I had assumed that there would be no relationship, or even a negative one. Oh, well, there you go, Grim. Similar to that seen in smoking tobacco. But instead, Eisenberg, who was the urologist, who was one of the study's senior authors, found that marijuana users are having about 20% more sex than people who abstain from the drug. What the hell? What the hell? Y'all are hogging it all. The study also suggests the effect is dose-dependent. Most frequent use was associated with more frequent sex. What's more, the link was found across all kinds of demographic groups. The overall trend we saw applied to people of both sexes and all races, ages, education levels, income groups, and religions. Every health status, whether they were married or single, and whether or not they had kids. So it's an across-the-board thing. Dang, y'all. Apparently the trend also held up when the researchers accounted for survey respondents' use of other drugs like cocaine and alcohol. Eisenberg said that this suggests a connection goes beyond less inhibited personalities being both more sexually active and more likely to use alcohol. But he also cautions that his results don't necessarily mean that marijuana causes people to have more sex. Wink, wink. There are arousal pathways that are stimulated by marijuana that could explain the results, he said. Is that some more of that vague talk? But for this study, it's important to know that correlation does not mean causation. Wink, wink. Apparently, the doctors, according to a recent Gallup poll, 1 in 8 Americans say they currently use marijuana, and 45% say that they've tried it at least once. That's a record high, and a number likely to grow as more states legalize the drug for recreational and medicinal use. That means more patients are asking their doctors about how using marijuana might impact their health. questions that doctors aren't always able to answer. I see patients come in with maybe I should read this like Dr. Ruth. I see patients come in with a variety of sexual complaints. Oh, that sounds too much like Yoda, don't it? That just totally sucks. Okay, Eisenberg, as they examine the health and lifestyle-related factors that may impact sexual function, marijuana has come up more and more frequently. So as I looked at the literature, there was not a lot of data available, and I wanted to fill the gap. The findings will be published in Journal of Sexual Medicine. Dun dun dun. Alrighty. Hold on, but wait, there's more. If you sign up for our newsletter... No. I know, pun intended, Grim. Wow, that brings a whole new meaning to the phrase passing the joint. Oh, trust, don't worry about a Chinese satellite crashing on your head. There ain't no satellites. Just ask Flasher and he'll tell you. Ain't no satellites out there. Okay. You know what? I think I'm going to go and check out the pig real quick. Because I haven't been to the pig in a while. Like at least a week. And I didn't get to this date in history on Wednesday. Because, well, I was otherwise occupied and engaged. Did you know that November is Honky Heritage Month? All of y'all hug a redneck. That's according to the pig. So, the word of the day is reality. A state in which you assume everybody else resides until you start dating. Yeah. In the quotable quotes section, now that certain ethnocrats have declared that the national anthem is racist, how long before it's open season on Old Glory because it's red, white, and blue, but not black in our national colors? Can someone please tell said ethnocrats to grab their blankies and go into their dark corners and tell someone that cares? Thank you, Porcus, for that little insightful bit there. Ooh, and the tasty tidbits. Let's piss off everyone and give political correctness a day off, shall we? I don't know, shall we, Porcus and Hambo? Let's see what you got to say here. I just come out of the shop with a roast beef sandwich, large chips, an ear of corn, and a jumbo sausage. A poor homeless man sat there and told me, I've not eaten for 2 days. I told him, I wish I had your willpower. Ba-dum-bum-bum. A fat girl served me at McDonald's at lunchtime. She said, sorry about the wait. And I said, don't worry, you'll find a way to lose it eventually. Ba-dum-bum-bum. Oh, God, these have got to be Porcus jokes. They've got to be. Snow in the forecast, and the TV weather gal said that she's expecting 8 inches tonight. I thought to myself, fat chance with a face like that. God. Oh, honey. No, they don't let you be a weather girl unless you're bada bing, bada boom. A 10-year-old Irish boy stands crying at the side of the road. A man passing by asks, what's wrong, lad? And the boy says, me uncle died this morning. Oh, bejesus, the man said. Do you want me to call Father O'Reilly for you? And the boy replies, no thanks, mister. Sex is the last thing on my mind at the moment. Oh, bada bing, bada boom, bada zing. Wow. Years ago, it was suggested that an apple a day kept the doctor away. But since all the doctors are now Muslim, I found that a bacon sandwich works best. Oh, man, you guys are on a roll, and I'm reading them. Ooh, let's see how many other people we can really piss off tonight. Did you know that Japanese scientists have now created a camera with such a fantastic shutter speed that it is now possible to take a photograph of a woman with her mouth closed? Oh, you boys are in trouble now. Because I know I can't shut up. JJ's, I don't want to hear it. Okay. So, I hate all this terrorist business. I used to love the days when you could look at an unattended bag on a train or a bus and think to yourself, I'm going to take that. Apparently a man in a hot air balloon is lost over Iowa. He looks down and sees a farmer in the fields and shouts at him, "Where am I?" Farmer looks back up and shouts back, "You're in a basket, you dumbass." That is Iowan humor. Yeah. I had a big lead in a trivia competition at a local bar until the last question, which I got wrong. The question was, where do women have the curliest hair? Fiji was the correct answer. Hell, how did I know they wanted the name of a country? Bada bing, bada boom. Oh my Lord, boys. Y'all are just, wow, that's batting 1,000. Let me tell you. So, some cute ones here, but wow. This date in history. Let's see. November the 10th, 1775, Congress establishes U.S. Marine Corps. Happy birthday, Marines. Booyah, booyah. This date in history, the 10th of November, 1801, Kentucky takes the suspense out of life. Outlaws dueling. Damn it all. Damn it all. And there went some of that self-cleansing shit. Thanks, you porky guys, for all this fun stuff that you shared this evening. I really do appreciate it. Now, let's go back to see what else I have in my... Oh, God. No. No. I'm looking at some of the things that I put in my pocket, and I don't think so. Where should I go? Where should I go? I think I'll check out the recommended in my pocket. See what they have. What? What? Hooty doody whatty? Uh-oh. In Kansas City, Missouri, suspects farting shuts down interrogation. Now, you know, that is something that that used to happen in our house, because we would line up to where my brother Dammy would always be the first one in line for the swatings along the couch, and it never failed. The second swat, Danny would pass gas, Dad would start laughing, and the rest of us wouldn't get a swat. So, you know, it was self-preservation. So, in Kansas City, Missouri, a police interrogation of a Kansas City man charged with drug and gun offenses ended prematurely when an investigator was driven out of the room by something else that was even more offensive: the suspect's excessive flatulence. Poop, 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 poop. A detective reported that when asked for his address, 24-year-old Sean Sykes Jr. leaned to one side of his chair and released a loud fart before answering. The Kansas City Star reports that Sykes continued to be flatulent and the detectives were forced to quickly end the interview. Sykes appeared in court on Monday, charged with being a felon in possession of 3 firearms and possession with intent to sell cocaine. The charges stem from a police traffic stop this month and in September in Kansas City, Missouri. Federal Public Defender's Office hasn't responded to the Associated Press email seeking comment on Friday, mainly because they haven't been, hic burp cha-cha-cha, they haven't been able to stay in the room long enough with the individual that they are representing because, well, he's still very effervescent. Dude. Seriously, Taco Bell is very bad for ye. Sock puppet! I see you, sock puppet! Thanks, Grammy. Yes, I think his nickname would be Stinky. That would be an appropriate nickname for him. So do we have a guy? I don't think we have a guy over here that does the pooty thing. Aw, man. Grammy, we need an emoticon that farts. Okay, back to my pocket I go. Warren Buffett's best advice for beginners. Sorry, but not interested, Warren. What to do if you're a woman who struggles to orgasm? Wow, that's in my recommended, by the way. Or how about this one? What women wish men knew about good sex. That's true, Grim. I can count on you for that. Let's see. What else is? Science is broken. Oh, yes. I will agree with that one. How to make music a useful part of your life again. That's from Better Humans. So how is science broken? I know science is broken. How to have morning sex. Wow, I have an awful lot of stuff about sex in my recommended for some silly reason. What the hell? The Mount Everest of dicks. I don't know. Wow, there's just an awful lot of sex stuff going on in my... Oh, hey. Here's a recommended for me from Cracked. Let's check this out. 6 famous writers who secretly wrote insane pieces of crap. Or trash. However you wish to put it. Life hacker, can you do all your cooking in a microwave? I don't know if you wish to do all your cooking in a microwave. I haven't used one in forever. Okay. So, from those crazy guys over in cracked.com, here's the 6 famous writers who secretly wrote insane pieces of trash. See, here we go. It must be on the universal cosmic mind or something. Writing is like sex. It's exhausting. It involves more bodily fluids than anyone is entirely comfortable with. And the only way to get better is with practice. That's why every writer has 1 or 2 dark secrets lurking in the bottom desk drawer somewhere. Some are unfortunate enough to have those secrets housed in publisher's office and the shelves of Barnes & Noble. They maybe think twice about querying that first novel, lest we wind up among, let's see, number 6, Dan Brown's Love Advice Book for Women. Really, Dan? Really? Yeah, Dan Brown. He's known for writing pseudo-factual novels about barely disguised versions of himself, taking down big religion. But back when he was still nothing but an everyday weirdo obsessed with Jesus junk, he tried his hand at a book about mortal junk. In 1995, he wrote 187 Men to Avoid, a survival guide for the romantically frustrated women. Really? Which is a refreshingly straightforward volume considering its source. And it literally is a list of 187 men to avoid. Sadly, it's not a list of specific men who have personally wronged Dan Brown. It appears to mostly consist of things that shake his fragile masculinity, like men who insist they'd be happy to take a male birth control pill if one exists, and men who own dogs smaller than cats. Yet he also demands that men be impeccably groomed, as men who wear clip-on ties and men who don't separate their white and colored laundry also make the list. Make up your mind, Brown. Should men be cartoonish caricatures of masculinity or mincing sissies in frilly aprons? Sorting the wash. Let it not be said that Brown is oblivious so, because the list also includes men who write self-help books for women. Dun dun dun. So, number 5, Stephen King's school shooter revenge fantasy. Oh, really? Stephen King is one of the most popular horror writers of all time. And he's written about everything from a haunted trunk of a Buick to how much it would suck to be stuck in an overturned porta potty. Yeah, that would pretty much suck. He's pretty down with his entire canon, aside from that one book he wrote while high, or that other one that he wrote while high. And then there's one more major exception, and its name is Rage. Eventually, King found his writing career so easy that he decided to start an entirely new one and began publishing novels as Richard Bachman. One of the first books under that name was a novel that King first wrote as a dejected 19-year-old. It follows an abused kid who takes a gun to school, kills his teacher, and plays weird games with the other students. Eventually, they all fall in love with him. That's what Dylan Klebold and Eric Harris would have considered slash fiction, which is the reason Stephen King came to regret writing it. Number 4, Michael Lewis, who wrote a column on the woes of marrying hot women. Really? Michael Lewis wrote a source material for the future Oscar fare like Moneyball and The Big Short. He also wrote an article in 1994 for The New Republic titled Scenic Beauty. The beauty in question wasn't Yellowstone, but his then-wife, Kate Bonner. He described her in a way not dissimilar to how Stephenie Meyer would describe Edward Cullen, using phrases like Niagara of her thick golden hair. Really? Wow. Wow. Dude. His chief complaint about his wife, well, it was the army of men who also think she's pretty. It's an absolute nightmare, he assures us, lamenting the weird degradation of standing near a person with symmetrical features as other people insist on being nice to her. Weirdly, there's no mention of the degradation she experiences at the hands of these barbarians. The person who most objectifies his wife appears to be Michael Lewis, who at one point compares her to actual scenery, likening her to the itinerary of a sexual tour group. Nowhere is this more apparent than an encounter with a construction crew straight out of a cartoon, about which Lewis comes to the exact wrong conclusion. Yeah, I'll bet he's really proud of that one too. Number 3, Mark Gaddis. Homoerotica. Ooh, okay. If you know the name Mark Gaddis, it's probably for the Doctor Who episode wherein the Doctor fought Robin Hood with a spoon. Or for co-creating Sherlock, thereby showing the world the bounty of Benedict Cumberbatch's cheekbones. Okay. Given that history, it may or may not surprise you to learn that Gaddis has written some manly erotica in his day. Well, we're just not going to go there. The King's Men? No, I'm not going to go there, because that's just wrong. At least in my books. Number 2, Martin Amis. His video game strategy guide. Apparently he's one of the greatest British novelists in history who didn't write about hobbits or Harry Potter. He's been called one of the 50 most influential writers in the world. But there's one volume whose title will reduce him to a puddle of discontent. If you so much as mention it, it's a strategy guide to 80s arcade games titled Invasion of Space Invaders, an Addict's Guide to Battle Tactics, Big Scores, and the Best Machine. Wow, I could see why you would cringe at that one. And lastly, Ian Fleming's tacit endorsement of rape. Ooh. So if you haven't seen The Spy Who Loved Me, you're not qualified to be reading this website. And you need to go watch it before the authorities find you. Sure, it had a cheesy villain named Jaws, whose teeth were made of metal. But that's an Oscar-nominated film you're talking about here. But you might be surprised to learn the book version was slightly different from the film. And by slightly different, we mean that the main character wasn't even Bond, but a Canadian woman named Vivian Michael, or Vivian Michelle, however you wish to say that. Bond himself only makes a brief appearance at the very end. But there's a reason the movie version only took the title. Female protagonists are great and all, but in the wrong hands, it can go very badly. And if you want to see how little a man understands what it's like to be a woman, ask him to write a female character. Vivian describes herself as an attractive rat making headway in a rat race. That's not exactly feminine verbiage. And insists that every woman is hankering for semi-rape, that they love to be taken, musing that it was his sweet brutality against my bruised body that had made his act of love so piercingly wonderful. Oh, gack. That's like a frickin' Harlequin romance bullshit. Gack. Gack. Really, Ian Fleming? Shame on you. Gack. Oh, you're slightly chilly there, trusty feller. Gooberzilla, hey sweetheart, how are you doing? Okay. Wow. See, famous writers got to start somewhere. That's just the way it works out. Everybody's got their shit that they wrote that you just really want to go, oh man, I hope nobody reads that. Oh. Okay, let's see. I got time for one more, I think, because I'm actually paying attention to the time. This is one that I saw the other day, and it is from my home state. So I figured, I'll finish with my home state. From the RedStateWatcher.com. Breaking. The Black Student Union has just amended charges against him. The Black Student Union at Kansas State University is demanding charges be filed against a black man who defaced his own vehicle with racist graffiti. I don't know why they did, Grammy. I don't know. Okay. According to the AP, the group posted on its Facebook page late Monday a statement saying that it was appalled, disgusted, and hurt by the false report. Police earlier had announced that Detarius Williams admitted that Wednesday's incident was a prank. Police said they thought charges wouldn't be in the community's best interest. But the student union said the fact that an African-American man was involved should not diminish its effect on students. It urged Riley County authorities to reconsider pressing charges. Reports of graffiti fueled racial tensions at the university and in the community. And I gotta say, yeah, bravo. I mean, if you're gonna be, you need to call them out, even if they're the ones that are stirring the shit pot. Call out the shit pot stirrers. And yes, if you're going to demand that someone else be tried for hate crimes for that kind of stuff, or be charged with hate crimes for that kind of stuff, then yes, the same should hold true for someone that is doing this crap on purpose to spread discontent and stir the shit pot. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, let's see. Where else? I had one other thing. Because, yeah, that was one of those things when I read the article on Wednesday with the rawr, which I really, really, really like saying rawr. It's like, ha ha. There was that article that day. There was one that a black student admits hanging white-only and black-only signs near school bathrooms and water fountains. Which, yes, these things need to be coming out. You need to be calling this shit out. These people that are trying to stir the pot just because they like stirring the pot and keeping people bickering, they need to be called out on their bullshit. And, okay, I'll bet you I got time for this one. It's from RT, and it's from September of last year. But it just goes to show that there are people calling out this shit. The segregated blacks-only housing at California University reignites an old debate. And yeah, you're sitting there saying that you cannot have a whites only, that you cannot have this, you cannot have that, but you can have a blacks only. Excuse me. I mean, this is ridiculous. You need to stop this shit, and people need to be calling them out on this crap. If it's not okay to have it for one. It's not okay to have it for any of them. Period. What is that? Oh, Meisterbrow's listening to Judas Priest. There you go, Meisterbrow. Well, you know what? I am just about out of time. Y'all been listening to Grammy's Rocket Chair in the Echo Chamber here on RealLibertyMedia.com, Channel 3. Also on the RLMRadio.xyz site, the RLM's FREEKER channel, later to be on the RLM YouTube channel, unless YouTube decides to be douchebags, which, yeah, okay, never mind. They've already decided to do that. But I will not be on tomorrow eve or tomorrow morning. Neither will Flash for the Dork Table because it's Circle's birthday. Happy birthday, Circles! Happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy joy, joy. Happy anniversary of the day you graced the world, my dear. And but be sure to stick around this evening because Grimmy and Moosker will be on later on this evening with the Freakers Ball. If Moosey can stay warmed up, because it's been Bursy in her neck of the woods. Also, let's see. Tomorrow, I think JJ's might be on to play some tunage. A lot of times JJ's pops on and he plays some tunage for us. So that would be awesome, JJ's, but I won't be able to listen in. So, Sunday at noon Eastern Time, Grimner will be on with the Blues. And probably a rousing game of Trivial Pursuit going on in the RLM chat as well. And then, directly following Grimner, will be Hal Anthony, who's going to open up a can of whoop ass on yo ass out behind the woodshed. And yeah, the crickets are all going to be kicked back in their crickety lawn chairs with their little crickety popcorn and their crickety adult cricket beverages and watching it and laughing and chirping. Because cricket chirping, that's them laughing. Also, Sunday evening, Gary L. and Gigi's Boo with The Road Less Traveled will be on. That is at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Sunday evening. I will be back on Wednesday with my old headphones until my new set comes in. Won't be doing the Echo Chamber anymore. But I'll be back Wednesday with the Wackadoodle Wednesday edition of the Rocket Chair. So once again, thanks y'all for listening in. Please, please, please stay warm out there, those of you that are in the cold climate like I am. And be careful this weekend, but have an awesome time while being careful. Please. And remember, nope, Grimmy, no Dork Table tomorrow because I'm going to be babysitting young'uns. And Flasher is celebrating Circle's anniversary of making her presence known on this planetary plane. How's that